everybody. Happy Friday. I'm trying to get my... And no, it's not Wednesday. It's Friday. And it's a full moon in Scorpio. And it's also a lunar eclipse. We will not be able to see the eclipse unless you live in, what was it, Africa, I think Australia. So we will not be seeing it tonight. So how is everybody doing? How's everybody's energy? How's everybody's energy? Let's tap in a little bit. What's going on here with the hair? It's always crazy. I never know what I look like until I get on here. Yeah, I pulled cards for the full moon. Then we're gonna do one from my favorite Enchanted, Colette Baron-Reid's The Enchanted map. And then I'm gonna pull from The Unshakable Inner Peace. And this is by Shannon Kaiser. First thing I wanna do is, I wanna thank all the people that have joined. I wanna say we have, what is it, like 400 and some. It's like 437, or maybe it's a little more, but it's over 400, and that's huge. That's a huge amount of followers. It's a safe space here. That's quite a lot of people to bring it in one space, you know. Can you imagine if we were all, if 400 of us were all on right now in this very moment? Comment where you're from, so we kind of know where everybody is, if you feel comfortable. If you saw the TikTok, I had some events that I announced. If you didn't, I'm going to announce them now. So, doing the full moon tonight, we'll get to that. Also, I'm going to be starting, I feel compelled, as I've been working on this myself. Oh, hi, Cody. Nothing that I speak to you about is, I shouldn't say nothing, but most is stuff that I have not experienced. So for the most part, I have experienced most of what comes out of my mouth, all right? It's from experience, or I've done my research enough to know that this is real. So I have started this book. I'm not done with it. Hello, Amanda. I'm not done with it. And it seems like it goes in spurts. And I don't even remember when I got it. I think it's been like, I think a year in the works. And so it's got really good stuff on here. In here. And we're not going to, it would take forever to go through the whole book. So, but there's 8 chapters. So I think we're going to try to stick between 8 and 10 weeks. And if you want to follow along every week, we're going to do this on Sundays, because I'm going to keep the Wednesday night lives to the zodiac signs. I want to get that finished. And then we'll pull cards. We'll pull cards that night, and Sunday nights will be just the workbook, the self-love workbook. Okay. So you can order this. It's $15. You can order it on Amazon if you're going to follow along. Please reach out to me or comment on here if you're not going to buy the book, because then what I have to do is I have to print out the assignment and upload it to the group and put it in the files, and then you guys can look at it and print it out on your own. All right. So that's going to be 8 to 10 week, and we will be starting that May 21st, and that's going to be at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. and I might do an event for it. I'm not sure. A recurring event. Also June 3rd, I will be selling some of the dandy little things that I have been making. I have spirit wish jars. I have card bundles. I have little inspirational magnets. I have the 1111 signs. And I'm also going to be making some crystal and stone bracelets to sell as well, and more magnets. That will be June 3rd in Bloomer at the Moose Lodge for the citywide, for Bloomer's citywide craft sale. And that's from 8 to 1. That night at 8 p.m., we're going to do an online kind of follow along if you can for the forgiveness ceremony, because but that day it's just going to be too busy. And yeah, I'm just going to try it online this time. So I'm going to walk you through some of the prayers we do, walk you through actually taking the time to write the letter. That way you can pause, stop, play, pause, replay, and do it on your own. And then we'll go out to the fire and we'll burn our letters. So it's going to be where like I'm kind of walking you through each step. It's going to be live, but if you replay, you can pause and play and do it on your own. All right. And that's free. And then the self-love is also free. All right. All my content right now is free except for my readings. Readings are still at $30 for an hour and you get like 5 cards. All right. Hop on over to our business page. We have a Facebook page and it's called our new business, or our business that Travis and I are doing to conduct our readings and the Reiki and the shaman journeys on, and where I sell stuff is called Third Crow Energies. We don't have a website. We're strictly using Facebook right now. So go on there and you can reach out to Travis for the Reiki part. And you can contact me there too for the Oracle card or the products or whatever you need. Like you need some personal coaching. Do you just need some pulling of the cards? Whatever you may need, don't hesitate to ask. All right. I've gone through a lot of shit. So chances are whatever you tell me, I'm either in the thick of it now or I've gone through it. Or I have some handy dandy tips and tools to get you on the road so that you can get through whatever you're going through yourself. All right. We are not alone. Yeah. So, and then next Wednesday, I believe I will be, I don't know when if I'm going to do the live. I'm thinking I'll do the live at 7 next Wednesday. And that, I don't remember where we're at. I think we did Libra. We're getting down to like the last 3 zodiac signs. So I'm gonna write that down. Wednesday is the zodiac. So we'll pull cards. We'll talk about the zodiac, whatever zodiac sign I do, the characteristics. All right. All right. So the cards I pulled for the full moon. I did not do random. I strictly picked the ones that are affiliated with the full moon. We will do random for the other decks. All right. Feel free to comment on here. I'm going to do, so full moon in Scorpio looks like this. You know, and I think this is appropriate because it says it's full moon in Scorpio. It's time to release negativity. And it's appropriate because I think the Scorpio gets a bad rap. It's feared because of its, you know, its venomous thing here, the little spike. I think it gets a bad rap. And I think negativity sometimes gets a bad rap because you can't, if you look at it this way, everything happens in your life for a reason, even the bad stuff. It's there to wake you up. It's there to make you aware of something that's not serving you. So if you kind of look at, if there's something bad in your life, it's actually good because it wants you to realize that what you're doing isn't serving you. So it's the bad is for the good. Does that make any sense? Sit on that for a while. So negativity and the Scorpion get a bad rap. We need good and bad. And chances are a lot of the times, you know, the bad things that have happened in my life, they happened because I got lazy and I wasn't practicing what serves me, and I got complacent, or I got scared, or I got to where I was losing my self-worth, and I was letting my low self-confidence and my ego kind of dictate my thought pattern and my reactions. So in my opinion, negativity is when negative things happen in our lives, it's for the good, because it's waking us up and really wants us to pay more attention, and it's giving us that opportunity to make a change that does serve us. I'm going to read from the book. If you've been feeling paranoid and acting weird, oh my God. Okay, I'm going to stop, because the last 2 weeks I have been experiencing just some really weird ego control and some really weird paranoia that comes out of nowhere. If you've been feeling paranoid and acting weird, take this card as a very direct message from the cosmos to stop it. Worrying yourself is pointless. It's time to release any negativity you have around the situation you're asking about. If someone has been unkind to you, perhaps it's time for you to release them. This card heralds an emotional, intense time, since both the full moon and Scorpio themselves are both extremely intense. Last week, I cried for 4 days in a row. No lie. And every day it's a different reason. It's time for you to feel all your feelings. There could be some nastiness in the air when you pull this card. If that's the case, take it as a sign to move away from anyone or anything you feel is toxic. Let me say that again. Take it as a sign to move away from anyone or anything you feel is toxic. Ask your body. Ask your body how you feel. If this is toxic, ask your body, is this toxic? Chances are you're going to get your answer. However, this card has a totally different meaning for some. Your sex life can improve now if you make an effort. Use your magic. You have all you need inside you to bring about your desired result. Ooh, check it out. Attune to the moon. It's all better out than in. It's time to move from living fearfully to living joyfully. You're right to have your suspicions. Grudges are toxic. Let something go. The end of an argument. Wow. So that resonates a lot for me. The teaching. The full moon in Scorpio has a sting in its tail. It can herald a vindictive end to a relationship. It can also be a time when we want to be good, but we're naughty. If you pull this card, no matter when, your dark side and your shadow self may be showing. The full moon in Scorpio. Oh, may be showing. Okay, let me read that again. When you pull this card, your dark side and your shadow self may be showing. The full moon in Scorpio is also a time of magic. If you were thinking of making some magic, this is your sign to do it. Oh, I like that. Well, that first card resonates a lot with me. So moving on to the second one, the obvious one, the Eclipse. I love this card. It's so pretty. It's got like a fallen tree, which right away when I see that, when I look at this card and I see the trees all standing up and I see this one that's fallen. Like I said, not all negativity is negative. It has a purpose. The negativity has a purpose. But it's not falling down. So, when we feel like we need to lean on someone, we can lean on people that are in our community, people with like mind. You see, like all these trees look alike, except this one is leaning. So learn to lean on your community. The community that serves you. The community that's like-minded like you. That accepts you for you. Oh, I like that. I like that. And then what also is screaming out at me is like all the little white dots in here represent like all kinds of opportunities and possibilities. And, leaning is not necessarily bad. It's just pointing us in a different direction. This tree obviously needs to grow this way. or it needs to die. And it's going to lean on it until it gets totally done and it can fall to the floor, fall to the ground because it's no longer needed to be upright. Does that make any sense with any of you guys? Does that resonate? Because that's what I'm getting. I like that one. And I'm going to read from the book because I only want this to be like a half hour. Conclusions are within reach. Full moon eclipse. And just like that, a door slams shut. If you pull this card, it suggests that the situation you're asking about is about to reach a peak or has just done so, and things are now out of your hands. What you're experiencing now is what your soul signed up for. A way for you to learn and for your soul to evolve. So allow events to unfold and be easy on yourself. If you're letting go of someone or something, that was what this last card told us to do. If you're letting go of someone or something, know that it's the right time. As hard as it might be, forgiving someone for what they did could be key to resolving this situation in a positive way. It doesn't make right what they did, but it releases it so you can move on. Attune to the moon. That which is meant for me will not pass me by. Doors which slam shut now will not reopen. It's time for you to get back on track. Forgiveness will set you free of karma. Meditation and yoga are all recommended now. Cede control and let events unfold. Trust in the universe. Full moons are nearly always about climaxes and very often about conclusions. Full moon eclipses are the same, but on steroids. A full moon eclipse can be hard to handle because it portends change, something many of us are uncomfortable with, but change is part of life. And this card, when you pull it, reminds us of that fact. Full moon eclipses can also give us a glimpse into what Carl Jung called the shadow self. Shadow self was talked about that. Work with your darkness. Folks, don't be afraid of your shadow. It's there for a reason. And when we say shadow, it's used when you hear the word shadow in the spiritual world, you know, shadows kind of get a bad rap, but shadows are there for a reason. We need to look within so that we can look beyond. And looking in is you know, is kind of gnarly and snarkly. And there's things in there in your past that, you know, that always aren't the prettiest because they're in the past. And chances are you might have buried them so far deep that they're hard to get at. But there are tools, there are ways to get that to bubble up. And I talk about this a lot. If you follow me, you know that I talk about releasing your shit and making room for more shit. Because eventually, if you don't deal with your shit, you're going to start to get sick. Fun fact. Fun fact. And this is literal. This is scientific. This is medical. If you get constipated for so long and your shit is backed up and you're not shitting, literally, you will start vomiting. So think of when your inner shit is so in there and so it's not released and you're not dealing with it, you're going to get sick. You're going to get sick and your body is going to start giving you ailments and you're not going to feel good and you're going to start to get, you know, diseases or infections or inflammation and all kinds of not fun stuff. So clean your shit out, folks. Literally and metaphorically, okay? That's my advice. We're going to do this one. We're going to do this deck because I know this deck very, very well. So when I shuffle, I take the deck apart. Shuffle. Amanda, are you still watching? Cody, are you still watching? Or are you guys going to finish it on replay? I know it's weird to pull cards on a Friday night, but we can do replay. I wanted to do it on a full moon when the energy is high and the energy is really intense. Oh my God, the last 2 weeks were just crazy intense for me. All right, I'm pulling a card for the collective. Storm fields. Well, this kind of goes with the energy. So storms are coming. It's the number 9. Storms are coming. The energy is intense. Things are getting thrown all over whack. All right, what's coming forward strongly is, so when you see tornadoes, they can just bring, you know, havoc and, you know, destruction, and it's fast. And we're not prepared. A lot of the times we don't get prepared for that destruction. But what that opportunity, you know, when it's done and over with, and we've survived the storm, you know, we are able to create different paths. You see this path goes here, and you can't see the rest of it. So remember, like we talked about, there seems to be a common theme with the cards tonight, that the negativity doesn't always mean bad, because when you're dealt, when something, you know, when this storm, yes, they are destructive, but there's a chance that it's an opportunity to start anew and rebuild. And there's a lot of pairs in here. So there's like a pair of, it's kind of hard to see, but it's either like geese or birds. So right there's a pair. Then there's a pair of mushrooms down here. And then there's bees with honey. And bees need the flowers to make honey, to make something sweet. You have to have destruction in order to rebuild. Oh, I like that. And which also means like you have to have the negative with the positive is the black and white, the yin and the yang. So you need good and bad in your path in order to rebuild from destruction. That's my interpretation. And I will fill in the gaps with the book. Hi, Kim. Storm fields, this too shall pass. An uncomfortable chaos is surrounding you. Things that you've left attended may be the cause of some conflict. Pent-up energy needs release, just as the storm in nature must break. For these events occur when the electricity between opposing forces stirs up and creates temporary disorder. Not all storms are destructive. Rather, they serve nature by bringing rain to the ground and wind to the trees, enabling seeds to be widely distributed and continuous growth to be ensured. Just remember that whatever is being stirred up inside you or between you and another will benefit you later. The sun will shine again and new growth will be observed. Don't be afraid to shake things up a little. Well, I like that one. That one is very, very fitting. Very fitting. All right. We have a theme. Let's see what this last deck. This is short and sweet tonight. This is just a little thing to get the weekend started. Oh, I hear my robin. I got babies. Have you seen my TikTok video? I got 4 robin eggs out in one of the shrubs. And we used to have them, but they never would last because Nigel would scare the bird away, and then he would try to climb in the brush, in the shrub, and then he would take the nest out and all the eggs would be cracked. And if it made it that long and the baby birds would make it out of the nest, he would kill them. So now that Nigel is not here, the birds in our yard can survive. Okay. I'm pulling cards from the Unshakable Inner Peace deck for the collective. You can make it through. Your higher self is always guiding you. What wisdom does your higher self have for you? And the number is 15. I like that. It's like your inner self is kind of looking not down on you, but looking at you. You can make it through. Your higher self is always guiding you. And there's like, if you look at it, there's like 5 girls, and they're all dressed and they all look alike. And they're all like kind of in the same position. They all have like their heads up to the sky. Like, when in doubt, look up to yourself. Because sometimes that's all we have is ourself. And honestly, I've been learning this a lot lately, that I'm working on that self-love thing. And it's okay to choose yourself first. It actually feels really, really fucking good to choose yourself first. It honestly does. And everything else just falls into place. And there are, you not lower, but get rid of the expectations. Like, don't set any expectations. Because then whatever happens is whatever happens if you don't have any expectations. And you won't be able to be let down if you don't have any expectations. And not having expectations on yourself helps with your stress-free, but also if you stop expecting people to do things and say things and be there for you and this and that, and expect them to behave the way you want them to, by backing off a little bit and not expecting so much from people, it really opens up. It's weird to think about it, but it really opens up more connection, because you're not, whatever happens, and you're grateful for whatever happens, and you're never disappointed if you just set aside expectations. I like that. I'm going to read from the book, because I like to fill in the gaps. Because I don't have all the answers, folks. You may feel lost, alone, and as if things are not as they should be. But you have a guide who is always with you, gently whispering words of kindness, wisdom, and comfort. Say hello to your higher self. I just got that thing. Well, I think that's from The Godfather. Say hello to my loved friend. Say hello to your inner self, also known as your true and authentic self. Lean inward. Ooh, that tree. The tree was leaning. That's what that means. Lean inward into your heart and connect to this pure part of you. You can connect with your higher self in many ways. For example, through signs, synchronicities, and the flow of life. You may notice intuitive nudges or gut feeling. Your higher self is always talking to you and wants you to know you can make it through anything. Furthermore, you can trust this inspiration. You are never given more than you can handle. And when you tune into this guidance, life will become easier. When we unify with our higher self, we step into unity consciousness. With this new perspective, you see old problems in a new light. This is an invitation to stop focusing on the problems and be open to solutions. That's like the expectations. Let them go. Judgment, shame, and blame are removed, and you are free to function from your divine truth. You can increase communication with your higher self through prayer, meditation, journaling, automatic writing, yoga, sacred ceremonies and rituals, communion with the elements and nature, martial arts, dance, music, writing, and other forms of creative expression. And that's not limited, because there's a lot other ways. Hold this card up to your heart as you do this activation meditation. Visualize the energy of your higher self as a most glorious golden white light pouring through the top of your head. Picture the white light flooding your entire body with warm, loving presence and flushing through your whole being. See the white light shooting out from your heart as you send love to all. Hello, William. Allow the light to open you up to more peace, love, and harmony. Repeat these words aloud. I acknowledge the light within me. I accept the perfect love that I am. Let's do it again. Repeat these words aloud. I acknowledge the light within me. I accept the perfect love that I am. Question to ask yourself, what wisdom does my higher self have for me? If you have your own deck, feel free to pull a card with that question as your intent. If you journal, write that question at the top of the page and see what happens. If you meditate, have that as your intent. And if you just want to sit in some stillness or you're taking your shower, that's where a lot of my messages come from, is in the shower when I'm, it's like water is a conduit for me. Well, there you go, folks. What wisdom does my higher self have for me? So those were all very, very good cards. My intent was to pull some really good cards for our viewers tonight. If you didn't catch all of it, I will post it and you'll have to do a replay. And because I'm not taking pictures of these tonight. All right. So this is Friday, and I was going to start this on Sunday, but I want everybody to have enough time to get their own book and for me to figure out what assignments that I am going to do. Or so if you have the book and you have a really good assignment in here, reach out to me and let me know which one you would like to do if you guys have the book, okay? Otherwise, I'm probably just going to pick the ones that I think are most beneficial, or if I can't decide, I'm just going to do random. There's so many in here. I'll probably do the ones where there's a lot of information and a lot of like questions so that some of our newbies that haven't really worked on self-love can, get a deep dive. All right. Follow me on the TikTok, on the Instagram, and head on over to the business page that my husband and I have called Third Crow Energies. We have some events coming up. I know we just got asked to do one in Amory, July 1st. I think we're going to be there. There's a witches ball at the end of October. Not sure where that is yet, but we were there last year as volunteering, and we are going to set up shop this year. So, all right, those are all the events, and you've had your full moon oracle card reading. So, have a great weekend, folks. I'll see you here on the next live. Love you all.